Hi guys, good afternoon. Piotr here, this Litefinance Global YouTube channel, and we are going to discuss Pfizer stock. If you do remember, few meetings ago, the Pfizer been discussed as one of the top 5 stocks being considering as a buying opportunity, buying on deep, to be honest with you. Before we are going to go through the charts, right, let's have a look and go through few numbers. So first, very important thing when it comes to the Pfizer is when the next earnings report is going to be announced. It's the 27th of July 2021. Taking that into consideration, let's have a look what we have when it comes to the earnings per share, right? So what we have here, as you can see, second quarter of the 2020, the market been estimating the lower number. There was a beat very similar to the third quarter, a little bit of the disappointment when it comes to the fourth quarter of 2020, and very strong first quarter of 2021. Now, what we have to take into the consideration is of course the COVID situation and the vaccine situation when it comes to the Pfizer. To be honest with you, I already took 2 doses of the Pfizer. Well, we will see how it's going to work out. But let's get back to overall situation. And if you do remember the very beginning of this COVID story, we've been almost ensured that, oh, come on guys, it's going to be here for a while, and then it's gone. Well, today it's the June 2021, and to be honest with you, taking into the consideration worldwide situation, well, I wouldn't say that COVID is even very close to go, meaning that the Pfizer might be still considered as at some point buying opportunity. Of course, at this very moment, I have to clearly say it's not a financial advice. You have to do your own research. You have to do your own homework, right? That's the very important and key point here. Well, the second quarter, the expectations are even higher, and very similar the third quarter. Then towards the end of the year and very beginning of the next year, the expectations are a little bit lower. But if we are going to check the quarterly earnings surprise amount, then the charts we discussed here, over here and there, right, a little bit different, because taking into the consideration the last 4 announcements, 3 out of the 4 we've seen that the earnings surprise been beat to the upside, right? That's very important thing here. Then when it comes to some kind of the yearly earnings forecast, if we are going to take 2021, 22, 23, 24, then 22 and 23, we have 3 revisions to the upside, and for 2022 just 2 to the downside. So that's my point of the view here, right? If you think that we are very close, that the COVID is going to disappear completely, then of course your view when it comes to the earnings might be correct if you agree with what we have the upside, right? But if you share my view that it's nowhere close, even close to go, then of course if we are talking about the vaccine, that might be one of the top source of the income when it comes to the Pfizer. All right, so that's what we have when it comes to the overall view. Let's have a look how the market was reacting or what was the latest earnings report. As you can see here, it was the 0.93 when it comes earnings per share, and it was upside surprise by 15 cents. Also, when it comes to the revenue, it been beat by 961 million, almost 1 billion higher, right? So that was the very, very nice surprise. As I've mentioned, 29th of July, estimation are 0.98 when it comes to EPS, and revenue above 80 billion. And what is very important, the latest revisions when it comes to the EPS up revisions. Last 90 days, we have 9 compared to just 2 revisions to the downside. That's quite important, and it looks really, really positive when it comes to the stocks. Of course, we have a dividend here, and last ex-dividend date, it was the 5th of June 2021. Dividend yield 4.02. So, well, in that case, if you want to compare with the savings account here, you've got the point. Now, the strong surprise to the upside when we are talking about the latest quarterly report, right? Suddenly, when it comes to the SEX filling, we had 2, 4, 6, 8 records of sale or purchase when it comes to the Pfizer stocks. And you can check the details on the SEX website. I strongly encourage you doing your own homework to go through that report. And finally, before we are going to check the current chart, let's have a look at what we have when it comes to the Pfizer history. And as you can see, we are within the strong uptrend. When we've seen overall market pullback here based on the COVID, right? We just hit the levels related to the consolidation before the upside break, okay? And then we've seen attempt to rally pullback, and I do expect continuation to the upside. So how I see that things going on in the near future and midterm? Well, let's start with the monthly chart. If you do remember, we have the supply around 41.40, and looks like it's been tested on May, or almost tested in May, and we've seen a little bit upper shadow. There is a little bit of the possibility that market may want to create swing high over here, and we might see some kind of the pullback. How deep pullback could be, and where I do expect some bullish activity. Yes, there you go, 34.65, 34.50, and then down again towards 33. Of course, the lower we go, the better the buying opportunity might be. So let's switch to the weekly chart. Let's discuss the short-term situation here, and let's start with the supply. As you can see, the market reacted around 42.60, 43.60 with that supply zone based on what we have to the left side, all right, and that's the reaction. Since then, we've seen deep pullback, and that 33.65 holds. Now, taking that into the consideration, I think that if we are going to have 37.20 and eventually 33.65 again, that could create some buying opportunity with the possible retest of 43.50 and then going higher towards 46 and 46.15 from there. If we are talking about the short-term trading opportunity, let's have a look what we have when it comes to the daily chart. And there you go. There was a supply very strong supply around 40 round number, with the 40 110 as a whole big supply zone. And we've seen the reaction, but guys, come on, can we consider this one as a big pullback? Of course not. Look, we made run to the upside, we've seen strong pullback, we took out the stops, but we are holding over under right now. The particular price action we are going to discuss within the separate video series in the near future, but from here, as long as we are holding this latest weakness, come on, can you see, boom, right? So 38, 45, 38 as a first demand zone, and then I would take into the consideration this strong move to the downside, and I would take the low 36.70 and 36.25 as another buying opportunity. And if you are a conservative, then you might want to consider 1-to-1 move to the downside. So this 36.70, 36.25, at least for now, again, do your own homework, looks like a strong buying opportunity. If we are going to add the dividend yield, well, definitely Pfizer stocks with the current COVID situation is worth at least to watch, and the deeper pullbacks might be considered as buying opportunity. Again, strongly encourage you to do your own homework, do your own research. That was my pleasure to make this update for you. Thank you very much, take care, goodbye, see you around.